All right, Shalom. This is Power Thumb of the Great Millstone, Houston Count, back with another lesson to edify the elect of the nation of Israel. So before I begin, as always, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shah Ba'asham Chakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops of the Great Millstone, also to the elder high priest, the top my apostles and elders. Peace, blessing, and salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and all Israelites scattered abroad who will receive this truth, enduring the truth unto the end. And the end is when our Lord Yahweh Shah returns to give salvation to his elect and destruction to his enemies, starting with the main enemy being Esau, the so-called white man. All right, and after he's taken out of rulership, the kingdom of heaven will be established. So let's start here in Isaiah 1:1, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And it reads, the vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the day of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah. All right, so these scriptures apply back then, and they also apply in our times unto this day. Isaiah 1:2, hear, O heaven, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh had spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. So let's get a precept on this nourished and brought up children. This is verse 1 in Isaiah the 5th chapter. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved, touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and that fruitful hill is a location which is Israel. He fenced it, he protected it, he gathered out the stones thereof, the other nations, which were those Canaanites. Before it was called the land of Israel, it was known as the land of Canaan, and planted it with the choicest vine, the Israelites. The Israelites were planted in that land, and first and foremost, that land was for us, the Israelites, in the first place, and built a tower in the midst of it, which are the prophets, okay, which are likened unto a watchtower, to give the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, and also made a wine press therein, gave us, the law, statutes, and commandments, which is the wine press. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. So we were set up to produce righteousness, but the children of Israel were producing works of wickedness, following after the ways of the other heathen nations and their gods. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? All right, and we feel the same way today. It's at the point to where 2/3 here in America just got to die, because what else could the Lord do? Just like back in the ancient world, the Lord gave us everything. He protected us through his spirit. He set us up in the best land. He gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, right? He set up leadership, gave us order, all right? Gave us a land, gave us an army, all right? Gave us judges, kings. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. And unto this day, you got these wild-ass niggas out here, all right, and wild-ass females that are not living their lives according to the truth of these scriptures, as an Israelite should be. And now go to, and I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up. So the children of Israel got eaten up by the other nations. The Lord took his spirit of protection off the Israelites when you read the history, all right, and we got destroyed. We got destroyed by the Assyrians, the Babylonians, all right, the Medo-Persians, We was under captivity and subject to them, but they helped us out. You got the Greeks, we was in captivity hardcore. The Romans, all right, and now revived Roman Empire under America. So we've been eating up everything that we once had. All the remnants of our heritage have been eaten up by the other nations, especially Esau, and broke down the walls thereof, and it should be trodden down. And I will lay it waste. And we as a people are so laid waste that before we woke up to this truth, we didn't know that we was Israelites. That's a destroyed, laid waste people. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up the briars thereof, and I will also command the clouds that they rain, no rain upon it. All right. For the vineyard of Yahweh of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. So this vineyard is a metaphor for the children of Israel. And he looked for judgment, but behold, oppression, for righteousness, but behold, a cry. And this is what we experience, not only under the heathen nations, but under our own leadership and rulership over the people. Led us astray, serve idols, oppress the people, went to the other nations, serve their gods, right? So that's it on that. Let's get a precept for the rebellion. This is Daniel 9. Because the scripture in Isaiah, it said in verse 2, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. All right, so we got the nourished. Let's get the rebelled. Daniel 9 and 5. We have sinned and committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. And this goes for the Jew and the Gentile. The Israelites that knew that they was Israelites, all right, and was keeping the law, and for the Israelites that wasn't keeping the law, okay, the Hellenized Israelites, right? So all Israel have sinned. That's why we needed and need Yahweh, all right, to be that sacrifice which he was to the nation, to reconcile us to Yahweh. Even by departing from our precepts and our judgments. Read that again. We have sinned and have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in thy name, to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, to all the people of the land. All right. So this is how we rebel, by departing from our precepts and our judgments, and not taking heed to that watchtower which are the prophets. And to this day, all right, our people are exuding or they have the same behaviors. Let's go back to Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel does not know, my people does not consider. All right, and when I hit this word consider, the Strong's is H995 is by Yanan, all right, or by Yun, to separate mentally, all right, that is understand, okay. So our people have separated mentally from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shab, all right, and this is only temporary. Look, this is the job of the prophets right here. This is Hebrews chapter 8 and 11. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. And this is why I said it's temporary, because in the kingdom, we're not going to have to teach, all right, the Israelites anymore. And every man his neighbor, this proves that we're not under the second covenant right now, because we're still teaching, saying, know the Lord, For all shall know me from the least to the greatest. So what is the job of the prophets? All right, which are the teachers of the nation of Israel. All right, which back then we had the priest, but now we're under the order of Melchizedek. Okay, we had the priest, we had the king, we had the prophets, but now we're all kings and priests. All right, the king is just yet to come, but we're in a lot of the priests, which taught Israel how to know and how to please the Lord. This is what we're doing today. For all shall know. Well, let me start from the top. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother. This in the kingdom, the future kingdom come on earth, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me from the least to the greatest. So this is what we're doing right now, teaching the Israelites to know the Lord. But our people, they don't consider, all right? Because they have separated mentally from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. All right? They don't consider what we're saying to be the truth. All right? They don't want this understanding, pretty much. All right? So, the ox knoweth his owner and the ass his master's crib, but Israel did not know. My people does not consider. So, beasts got more sense than the Israelites. All right? You Israelites that refuse to understand or get the understanding of this truth. Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children of the corrupters. They are forsaking Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards. All right. So the Lord is pissed off. See, our people, even in Christianity, they think the Lord is all loving and all caring, and no matter what you do, as long as you say Jesus Christ, all right, he'll forgive you and he'll smile down at you again. But that's BS. This is Isaiah 47:6. I was wroth with my people, all right, angry. I have polluted mine inheritance. I have given them into thine hand. So we're polluted, right? By being given to the hands of another man, which are these Edomites, right? Which are these Edomites, and giving them to thy hand. This is a future prophecy. This chapter is talking about America, all right, and the Edomites that ruled over Babylon the Great, which are you so-called elite white people. Thou didst show them no mercy, and upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid the yoke. So from when, from the old to the young, we're catching hell in this so-called white man's kingdom. All right? Very heavily. So we're going through a heavy captivity. All right? Every move we make, every turn that we take, there's oppression around the way. This is Isaiah 42 and 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? You see, you Edomites, you're robbers. You stole us. All right, the history of the transatlantic slave trade. All right, also 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue with the Spaniards, those savages. Right? They robbed and spoiled. Right? To our northern kingdom brothers. All right? Which was in Central and South America. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are, all of them, snared in holes. Holes represents the place of our captivity. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, right? And who's the predator? Mainly you Edomites, and then you other nations. and none delivereth. For a spoil, and none said, restore. Why? Because the curses said, no man shall buy thee, meaning no man shall save thee. That's reserved for Yahushua. You see, again, Yahushua comes in the volume of the book is written of him, all right, to do the Lord's will. Okay? He said, I ain't come to destroy the law, I came to fulfill. So Yahushua is fulfilling this whole book. Who among you will give ear to this, who will hearken and hear for the time to come? So our people, they don't consider this truth when we bring it out. Who gave Jacob for a spoil, Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahweh, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his laws. Therefore he poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle. All right, see the fury, see us in this captivity in America, being extorted, being murdered, being hung, all right, being used for our labors, for our entertainment, for our spirits. This is all of the fury of the Lord upon us, the Israelites. All right. It says, in the strength of battle, it had set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. You see? And our people, again, they don't consider. That's what the scripture is saying. And it burned him, yeah, we're getting burnt. All right? Destroyed. Yet he laid it not to heart. My people did not know. My people did not consider. All right? That what's prophesied to happen to the Israelites are happening to us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? Let's see. This is, again, Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master crib, but Israel did not know. My people doth not consider. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They are forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards. All right, so our people are not moving forward and progressing, all right, themselves in this world. They're going backwards. They're getting worse, all right? And the scripture says that Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 21. Let's start at 19. Thine own wickedness shall correct thee. Thou backsliding shall reprove thee. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that thou hast forsaken Yahweh thy power, and that my fear is not in thee, said Yahweh of hosts. All right. And why is a black backsliding, okay, gonna reprove thee, and that wickedness gonna correct thee? Because for every wrong, there's a judgment to make it right. All right. And our people about to experience the ultimate judgment, which is the time of Jacob's trouble. All hell about to break loose in this earth. All right. Because you Israelites don't want to get right. All right. It's called the time of Jacob's trouble. Even though all nations gonna go through this, you gonna get punished, you Israelite, for not having faith in Yahushua, which is these scriptures. It says, verse 20, it says, and now fear is not in thee, yeah, because fear make you follow the scriptures, which Yahushua represents. Jeremiah 2 and 20, for of old time I have broken our yoke and burst our bonds. Right, so the Lord, he's delivered us out of captivities, and this is the last captivity we're going to be delivered out of. Of old time I have broken our yoke and burst our bonds, and thou sayest, I will not transgress. You know, just like a Jake, or so-called black man, right? Or Latino man. They get locked up, and then he get freed for whatever reason, right? And he said, man, I ain't gonna do that no more. Or when he in, in prison, like, man, you just let me out. I ain't gonna do it no more. Right? We all done said this. You just get me out this jam, I ain't gonna do it no more. Right? That's the spirit of an Israelite. It says, for old time have broken our yoke and burst our bonds, and thou sayest, I will not transgress. When upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest playing the harlot. Spiritual adultery. The Lord, he's your husband, and you go to Jesus Christ, Allah, and these other gods. All right? And all you Israelites is not calling on the name, but calling on Jesus Christ. All right? You're wandering playing the harlot. Okay? That's why your doctrine is not 100% truth. Okay? Because you're still wandering within that 1% or that 20% of other doctrines and philosophies. Okay? Bringing in practices and customs and ideologies of other gods and other, other philosophies into this truth. It don't work like that. You got to be all in, 10 toes down. It says, yet I have planted thee a noble vine. See, we went into that earlier. A holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? So while people that are going away backwards, they'll become degenerates. All right? Now let's look up this word degenerate. It says degenerate, having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race or kind. See, this is what our people have lost. They have a nationality, but they have lost the qualities of what it means to be an Israelite. Okay? It says Latin degeneratus, past participle of degenerare, to be inferior to one's ancestors. Okay? To become unlike one's race or kind, far from ancestral quality. Right? From phrase degenerate, from de, off, away, or off, away from, gene, birth, descent. So you fell off from being an Israelite. Now you're just you're strange vine. You like the other nations. All right? The rap culture, the entertainment culture, nothing, right, that our people are doing says, I'm a noble vine. I'm an Israelite, right? Except for what the prophets are doing and those that believe on the word of the prophets and putting their faith into action. These are the only noble vines, all right, and one in the Israelites that haven't fell off or become degenerate, that's being built up into their ancestral quality, all right, which is the wisdom. According to Deuteronomy 4 and 6, the law, statutes, and commandments, the words of the scriptures make us wise, make us to be the best quality Israelite that the Lord intended us to be. All right. So let's go back. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 5. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. All right. So when you look at our people from the head to the toe, our people are sick in the brain. All right. Because they don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why Yahweh said, I send my word and I will heal them. The word is the medicine. It's the ointment. All right. To get our people out of this sick mentality into this healthy mentality, which is the mindset of being an Israelite. All right. The mindset of the scriptures. Right. So why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. It's like you punish your child, but they ain't getting better. All right, this is a punishment, but majority of our people are not getting any better. All right, precept going off in my head. It says that I will bear the indignation of the Lord. Let's see. The bear Micah 7:9. I will bear the indignation or the righteous anger of Yahweh because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. All right, and it's ultimately fulfilled. This last part is fulfilled through Yahweh Shah. All right, our cause being pleaded, judgment being executed for us, being brought to the light, and beholding the righteousness. We doing this right now through Yahweh Shah. His sacrifice gave us the open door to understand these scriptures, right? But I will bear the indignation, the judgment of the Lord, because what we sinned against him. This was the purpose of it. All right. Let's see. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, around about 30 something. Let's see real quick. Okay. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 19. And it reads, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges, right, for amendment. Scourges is being stricken. Remember, Yahweh Shah made the scourge of 6, was it 6? All right, I forget exactly how it goes. John, when he went into the temple, he made a scourge, all right, to whip the asses of those wicked Israelites, all right. So these plagues that are sent in our times and past time are sent as scourges for amendment to make Jake get Jake mind right, to bring Jake back into the law, statutes, and commandments, back into the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. But the Lord like, well, I'm keep whooping your ass. You ain't getting it. People don't consider, right? It says, verse 6, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, right? And what is the soundness? The sound doctrine. There ain't no 100% truth in our people no more. Our people into all types of different shit, especially with the spread of the internet. Our people mind is all over the place. But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores just curse people. They have not been closed, neither bound up, nor mollified with ointment. Okay? Let's see. Sent word healed. Yup. This is Psalms 107 and 20. He sent his word and he healed them and delivered them from their destructions. Right? So the word does the healing unto salvation. All right? And this is what we're looking for, to get out of this cursed estate, back to the blessed estate that was given to our forefathers. All right? So the word does the healing. This is Isaiah 1 and 7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. This has happened in history. Now it's happening again. All right. And who's in our land? You JOOs. All right. Okay. You small hats. 1948ers. And in some other heathen nations like so-called Arabs. Right. But mainly, who's devouring our land? You so-called white people. Right. You Edomites. It says the bastards should dwell in Ashdod. Okay. Also, the Idumeans shall cast out our land as a prey. 2 different precepts, just quoting them. You go look them up. Isaiah 1 and 8. The daughter of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard, as a lodge in a garden of cucumbers, as a besieged city. We've been overcome. Our people say we shall overcome, but if we shall overcome, that means we have been overcame. All right, and who's overcame us? Mainly these Edomites. All right, why? Because we sinned against our power, and he brought these curses on us. Except Yahweh of hosts has left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been at Sodom, and we should have been likened unto Gomorrah. And what is this small remnant? This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, because they come and get their asses kicked by Yahweh Shah. All right. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, which are the chariots of heaven, with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. So Yahweh Shah ain't coming by himself. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So the elect is that small remnant. If the Lord hadn't left the elect, we would have been destroyed as a people, right? And what keeps the elect from being destroyed? This is Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. All right? So the election have obtained what? This knowledge, this truth. And the rest of the Israelites, they've been blinded. All right? That's why they're going to be destroyed. They've been blinded from this truth. All right? So I'm going to end it off right there, Lord, when I can finish it off. Giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Chakwadash, Brakathon, Shalom.